It's going. So yeah, I never had COVID before, so tell me what that experience is like.
Yeah, so I hadn't had it before this either, man, and fucking miserable. Let me tell you what, dude. So Friday was like last week was weird cuz my wife was sick like the whole week. She got it before me
Yeah.
and eventually I got it from her. And so she was sick and I didn't like she said it was bad, but like I don't know. She seemed pretty normal for the most part. Like it wasn't like, she was in bed a lot. We were quarantining obviously. But then I got it, and Thursday I started to feel some sickness coming. You know how you feel that like tickling in the throat, where you just like you feel like it's happening. So that's that. Like I worked Thursday though, normal, and then we did the show, and that day was pretty much normal for me for the most part. And then I wake up Friday morning, and I don't know. I felt okay. Like I didn't feel terrible like when I initially woke up, but I worked for like 45 minutes and I just felt this like nausea and this like headache building. And I like I felt bad enough where I went into my game room and sat on the couch I have in there and like reclined to like lay down for a second to see if I would feel better. And I was like, yeah, this feels better. Like I don't feel good. So that's when I logged off on Friday and I went to sleep for like 4 hours. I think after that I woke up at like noon, I think afterwards. And at noon, when I woke up at noon on like last Friday,
Yeah.
fucking pounding headache, like absolutely just my head was pounding, dude. I could not even think straight. Like it was so painful. So that was most of Friday was just that. I ended up going back to sleep after that, after a couple hours of being awake. Like it was a miserable day. I don't even remember anything I did that day really. And then Saturday I woke up and the headache was better. It was still there slightly, but it was better. It was like I could tolerate it. But then Saturday was coughing. Like I had coughing fits the whole day Saturday, and it was like violent, kind of painful coughing. Um, and then I woke up Sunday and had a sore throat. The coughing was kind of lessened, but then it became nasal discharge where my nose was just discharging mucus to a degree that was just like I used so many tissues last week and it was ridiculous. So that was Sunday and Monday. By Tuesday, excuse me. Sorry, I'm gonna hit the cough button. I'm gonna try to hit the cough button when I do that for the rest of the show. But yeah, by Tuesday, I was like, okay, it was manageable. Like the mucus was like the nasal discharge was a lot less, but it was still there. I was sneezing a bit, but it was like it was okay. I didn't work that day either, but yeah, so it was okay. Since then, I've been fine for the most part. It's mostly just a lingering cough now. But dude, yeah, it was just like it's like a whole like nobody talks about this anymore. It's like that's the thing I noticed about it. I was like thinking about it. Is like God, people don't even. There were a bunch of people at work last week that I was somewhat close to for periods of time that I contacted on Friday, and I told all of them, hey, I got COVID. You probably want to go get tested. I'm pretty sure like one of them or two of them maybe got tested, and the rest like were like whatever, dude, and just kept working for the most part. Like it's like people don't feel like this even exists anymore, and it's like kind of weird because dude, it fucking sucks. Like this is a terrible illness. Like, and I probably got what you would consider a mild case of it. Like clearly it gets a lot worse than that because people are literally dying from this still to this day. So it's like it fucking sucks, dude. Like don't get it if you can avoid it. I mean, I went on a trip, so I was kind of asking for it. But the funny thing is, I didn't get it on the cruise though. I got
You
it on
got
the
off the plane.
fucking plane ride back to my to home, where I would have not gone outside again and would have been fine. Like it's like, dude, it was such a near miss. It's like, oh fuck, dude. It's like if I could have just not had that woman next to us who was sick, who had COVID on the plane, we would have been fine. We would have got off scot-free, but it's better than getting it on the way to this cruise, though. That would have been miserable. So, I'll take it. It's okay, but still, dude, if you can, don't get it, man. Like wear masks, whatever you
No,
need to do. Like,
yeah, I started masking up again. because of either because of that, the surge of COVID,
Yeah.
and because of like monkeypox and stuff like that. Because I'm starting to go back to the gym and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, I've just been masking up. I've been taking gloves everywhere I go, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been like using hand sanitizer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, just because I work out in the field and stuff like that too. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. People consider it like a common cold now. Like it's just a part of life.
Dude, it's
I
not
don't.
though. Oh, it's so much worse than that, bro. Like I
Yeah,
can work through a common cold mostly. I've done it before. You know, like I've literally gone to work with the common cold and like worked a work day. Like this, no way, dude. Like I,
yeah. I've heard people compare it to like the flu and stuff like that, or
it's
common
worse.
cold is. Yeah, but flu, I've heard that one before.
It's worse than the flu. It's probably on the same. It's probably on a similar level if you get the kind of case I did.
Okay.
You do get some amount of chills though, the way you do with the flu, but
Okay.
I'd say in terms of being unfunctional though, it's similar, like for sure. Especially if you get the headache, dude. That oh my god, it was fucking horrible. But yeah, so it's real, guys. Like it's still out there, man. Like be careful. You know, and shit. If you get it, like take it seriously. Quarantine. Don't fucking, you know, like don't ignore it. Don't
Yeah,
pretend it's
and
not there. You know, don't go on a fucking plane.
yeah, and that's why like my parents been begging me to come back out there to see them, and I'm just too scared of travel right now. Like I'm just really like, where are you gonna come out? When are you gonna come out? I'm like, bro, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm DFW is one of the biggest airports in the fucking United States of America. Somebody's gonna give that shit to me.
Yeah.
Like no matter how safe I'm trying to be.
Yeah,
So
I haven't been sick like that by the way for fucking years. Like I don't really get sick very often, and yeah, I mean, my wife was making fun of me at a certain point because I'm like a whiny, useless baby when I'm sick. Like I was just laying in bed, just whining about it. Like I don't want to be sick anymore. Uh, so you know, but it's not good, not good. Count your blessings that you haven't gotten it. Like I was. I mean, I knew it was good that I hadn't gotten it up to this point, but you know, unfortunately I couldn't. Eventually I took 2 trips within a month or within a 2 month time frame. I mean, you know, it was kind of asking for it a little bit.
so did you have your mask on, or y'all just like
No,
face?
I didn't, and honestly, going forward, if I do get on another flight anywhere, I'm wearing a mask the whole time I'm in the airport. Like that's probably how I'm going to do it from now on. So I don't know if it would have helped. I mean, this woman was like, you know, in the seat next to my wife, you know, like she was sneezing on my wife's shoulder, coughing on her, fucking, you know,
Ugh.
yeah, it's fucking nasty, dude. Like, no, she was sleeping. This is the thing. The woman was asleep, and Amanda was next to her, like just, you know, awake, trying to watch movies and whatnot. And yeah, this woman's like next to her, like bundled up, facing her, and is just like, yeah, coughing, sneezing, fucking, like it's fucking nasty, dude. Like, so don't be like that person. If you have COVID, like don't go, dude. Don't go outside. I haven't gone anywhere in over a week, so it is what it
Yeah.
is. But yeah, so that was my adventure with COVID. I guess we should get into the normal rigmarole of the show, huh, Montrell? Hi everybody, welcome to the Player's Take. This is episode 182. I'm your host Justin Simone, who still has COVID, and joined by my co-host who does not have COVID, Montrell Riley.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, man?
Uh, I'm all right. It's been not a rough week. It's just been a really blah week for me.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been talking in the group chat. You haven't been on Discord. You've
Okay.
been MIA.
Can
So I
you
missed
answer
you.
a thing? Can you answer something for me, dude? Like,
What's up?
I notice this every time I go AWOL from the group chat for a few days. Like, it's like it fucking dies. Like, am I the glue? Am I the glue? I don't want to accept the role, but am I the glue? Like,
You are the glue.
I
You are
feel
the
like
glue.
I am because
You,
yeah, I
you're,
noticed that like I'm looking at the group chat and it's like, you know, people are talking in there, but you guys nobody's doing anything together. Like, you know,
yeah, you're the organizer. You've accepted
I've
that
been
role.
nominated. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the organizer, man. It's okay.
It's like if I don't organize shit, you guys don't do anything together. I'm like, God damn it, man. It's so annoying. I'm like, fuck, dude. So It is what it is. I mean, it's fine. I like you guys. I mean, I'm playing
Yeah.
Xenoblade right now though, so I don't know if I'm organizing shit. Like, I don't want to play Apex. I kind of want to play Apex, but I don't really want to play Apex. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Xenoblade right now, and I finally. You ever play a game and you're like, I finally see it. Like I've been saw it because
Yeah,
I saw the potential and I
yeah.
like the series,
Uh-huh.
but I was
I
playing
knew,
Xenoblade
it.
Chronicles
I knew
1,
you were there. No. I knew
and
it
I
because
can't put this fucking game
you've
down.
never beaten, no, you've never beaten one, and Andy was the same way. He's never beaten one either. And the both of you right now are playing one while 3 is out, and Andy already started 3 too, by the way. So like. I knew it was like this for both of you because, dude, I've been trying to fucking tell you guys. I have tried to tell you every opportunity that I fucking can. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is one of the most insane JRPGs that I've ever played. It's so fucking good. The story is bonkers. Where are you with it right now? Like, where are you? What part of the game
I'm
are you
on
in?
chapter 13.
Okay, and he's in the same spot.
Really?
I think so. Did you just get the junks or that area?
Yes. No,
Yeah,
I actually passed
that's
junks now. I
literally
passed
where he
junks.
is. That is exactly where he is. That's what he told
Yeah,
me to do.
I'm on the thigh of the Maconis right now.
Okay.
That's where I remember that part. Yeah, I'm on the
Oh, so
thigh.
you're in
So
McConaughey's Field? Okay.
yep,
Okay. Which
yep,
has the best music in the game, by the way.
yeah.
I love that zone. But yeah, so you're saying that now, and when I'm going to tell you this, I told Andy the same thing. It gets better, much better. Like if you think it's really good now, it gets much better than what. It's fucking insanity. I just think
No,
about
bro.
how much story you have left. You probably have 20 to 25 hours of
Are
story
you
left to go.
serious?
I'm not fucking with you. I told Andy the same thing. Bro, you are 20 to 30 hours from finishing this game, probably, if you do nothing else
I thought
than
it was
play the
only
story.
17 chapters. I did look and see how many chapters there
Dude,
were. It's
it's
seven.
just they're long. There's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of areas left. They're very large areas. Like maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but maybe I'm putting it in frame of what it would have taken me or what it took me. Maybe so. Maybe it's
Mhm.
15 hours. Maybe it's 15 hours. But still, dude, like you have. I'm just thinking about how much you have left to go, how much of the game you have left to go, and like things that haven't happened yet, and it's just like giggle.
No, man,
Yeah,
it's. I know we're not doing games we're playing. We're doing our icebreaker, but I don't know. I had
that's
to
okay.
mention
Man, we'll
I
jump
was
out of
playing
order.
it.
This shows we barely have anything to talk about anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever order, who cares? Um,
Um, the thing I like about this game,
mhm.
I feel like this is the only problem I have with Monolith Soft games. Because Bots and Kados was this, or Bait and Kados was the same way. I had to play it like 2 times before I got it.
Yeah,
But even this game, I understand. Like, I honestly don't want to go back to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 because I thought Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was like the better combat. But now that I'm playing this game,
hmm
this combat is so
man,
fast.
I've been
And
trying
like
to
I know
tell you guys,
people
man.
people
God
think
damn it.
I'm maybe over exaggerating like when I'm like, oh, Montrell, it's a JRPG, how fast can it be?
Yeah,
It's a a auto attack RPG at that, and it's real time, but it's like it's when I say fast, it's not Kingdom Hearts fast, like that kind of combat.
yeah,
It's just fast. The things you can do, especially with the party you're rolling with. Like my party is a full damage party, tension focused
hmm
topple
yeah,
topple party.
yeah.
So I have Dumban, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I'm gonna say
Seventh party member.
7 party member,
Yeah,
and then and Shulk.
yeah.
And that's like a full damage party. And like before then, I feel like I was doing the standard like tank, healer, DPS, but now I'm just doing like full damage, and it's so fucking
It
satisfying.
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was telling Andy the other day or earlier to experiment with this because this is the part of the game you're in is where I started really experimenting. I did it in the head area, the Bionis head area as well. When you get Melia early in the game, I used her for a huge section of the game.
Oh man, she's so fun.
Dude,
She's
she's
so
really fun.
fucking fun.
No,
Yeah.
she's super fun character to control, and I played her, and that's when I started experimenting with party composition. And I did not have a healer because she can heal a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but she's not like a full healer like Charlotte is. But so I was using her, Dunban, and then somebody else, like one of the other damage dealers, like Ricky or something. and just experimenting and fucking around with party composition. And you learn in this game, like Charla is a crutch, you know, like she is objectively the best party member in terms of like gameplay function. She makes it so you can ignore so much of what the game has to offer in terms of combat depth, like the tension system you're talking about, and the way you can use the chain attack bar and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You don't need to pay any attention to any of that if you have Charlotte in your party, because she's such a good
Yes.
healer.
Yep.
But you can realistically take her out, have no healers at all, and play this game with no healers. And that is a realistic way to play the game. And you can dish out damage so fucking fast where combat will turn your way or the enemy's way within 5 or 10 seconds, you know, but you can do it. Like, it's doable. It's totally doable.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah. So, I played this game every which way imaginable. I've done the Charla, you know, tank healer, DPS setup. I've done it with no healer. I've done it with Melia as like my main kind of healer, but spellcaster shit. I've done it with all these different combinations, and like I find all of them enjoyable. If I find a piece of content in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 that was really hard, I would put Charla in the party, you know, and it
Yeah.
was
That's
like,
exactly what I would do.
yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time when I'm just running around like fighting regular enemies, like in these just zones or whatever, I tried to take her out because you don't need her, and it can make the game a little bit more fun. So,
Well,
yeah.
it was certain parts of the game. Even when I had Charlotte in there. So like when you're fighting the seventh character, mech, and she has like 4 or 5 mechs next to her, you gotta take those out before you can even touch her in that part of the story.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I had to use a CC team, which is like Ricky and what's his name, Ryan. So
yeah.
I had that was like my CC AOE team I had, and when I used them, like I took Charlotte completely out, and I won that battle. And then even with other battles, like there were certain parts where there's like literally like 10 enemies you're fighting. It was just better to take her out and then have a full CC team or a full like tension team that can do chain attacks and max out the chain attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, dude, like fights like that too. Melia was super fun in that section of the game because her whole ability thing is you can like build up those elements around her.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then you can discharge them for a specific effect. And what I loved doing was like building up the AoE one, and then you just discharge the AoE 3 times and fucking wipe out just like a whole shitload of enemies or whatever. Yeah. Like she's fucking nuts, dude. But yeah, so the game's like really versatile. People don't get that though, because they give you Shulk. He's the main character. He's the one you control most of the time, and he's also a crutch. Because you need him against the Mechon for a large portion of the game. And you're at the point now where you don't need him anymore. Like you can take him out of the party because they give you equipment that lets you fight Mechon without him, which is nice. And that's where you really start to get to do the experimenting. That's the other reason Melia is nice, though, is she can hit Mechon without Shulk being in the party, which is cool.
Yeah, because she has ether attacks.
She's doing ether-based attacks. So,
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, the game is like super fun. Like I haven't put the game, like I made my mission to beat the game so I can play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and beat that and then play 3 eventually. But I haven't put the game down, not because I want to beat it, but because I'm legitimately having fucking fun. Like I haven't touched any other game in like a week. It's been actually fucking insane.
That's awesome.
Like the games I have on here is before I even touched it. Like I haven't touched anything. Like even Deanna was like, "You've been playing this game for about a week straight," and I'm like, "I know, right? It's so fucking good." Yeah, like even the melodrama in the game. I see why you like Shulk now. Like, and I remember like years back when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out, we were talking about it, and you were comparing Shulk to Rex, and you were like, I just don't like Rex compared to Shulk, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't get it, but now I fully understand because Shulk is a 100% badass who just doesn't give a fuck. Like, he gives a fuck at the same time, but he doesn't give a fuck. Like, he would do anything for the 7th character. It's fucking crazy, and I love it. Like, I love everything about his character, and how he actually just grows as a character from like wanting revenge to like, all right, I kind of understand why the enemy is doing what they're doing now. So
Well, do you like
it's
the
just
villain swap too at Galahad Fortress? Is that such a
yeah,
cool point in the game,
yeah,
dude?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, man.
finally beat, you know, the one that's been fucking haunting you the entire game up to this point, which is like half the fucking game, by the way. And he's just a henchman. He's not anybody important,
Just
really.
a fucking henchman.
Yeah, and then the real villain shows up, you know, right after that, and he's a fucking monster. Like,
Well,
uh,
I was screaming when I found out, that person was, I
oh yeah,
texted to
oh
you.
I know, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So no, the game's really good. I do feel bad for people who haven't experienced this game. Like you have to play Xenoblade Chronicles. There's a reason they put Shulk in
Smash
Smash
Bros.
Bros.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
re-
no, no one else from the series deserves to be in Smash Bros. I mean, I would put other people in, but that's because I'm a fanboy. Like, if you're gonna put
yeah,
somebody in Smash, it's Shulk, bro. Like, there's no question about
yeah.
that.
He's a good fucking character. He's a good JRPG character. I think he's really underrated as far as like iconic JRPG characters. If
Hmm.
this game was like more popular and didn't come out on the Wii, it came out on like a PlayStation 2 or some shit like that.
Hmm.
This game would probably be one of the top JRPGs of all time. Like
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Well,
You know.
so I do want to talk about a point though, real quick, and I'm going to talk about this with 3 later as well when I talk about 3.
Mhm.
But I do want to acknowledge that I'm a fanboy for this series. I love Xenoblade Chronicles. I think it's one of the best JRPG series like ever made. But I want to acknowledge the fact that what you experienced, I think, is what a lot of players experience with it, and why the series is not bigger. Is that these games, all of them, even though one I think is the fastest to develop to the point where you kind of have everything at your disposal. I think there are some story elements, like some in world, like the fact that you can't hurt Mechon without Shulk in the party does hinder the game to the
Yeah.
point, and it takes you fucking forever to get to the point where that doesn't hinder you nearly as much anymore. I mean, what are you fucking 50, 60 hours into the game at this point?
Yeah, I think I'm like last time I checked it was like 40 hours. I'm
Yeah.
40 hours to the
Yeah,
game.
and that's an insane amount of time for you to get to that point. Which I mean, I don't have a problem with it because it sets like a narrative tone. You know, there's like
Yeah.
like it sets an atmosphere, right? Which I like that within the game. But it's practically though, from a gaming perspective, like it does slow down the clicking moment for people with the game to a long time in, to the point that I think a lot of players don't stick with it. You know, I was like hooked on the story, so that was like really what kept me in, and eventually like the gameplay got to the point where you're at with it, where it's like, holy shit, this game is fucking incredible. You know, it's not just the story that's really good, but it takes you a long time to get there, and that is super true of 2 as well, and that is super true. That's still true with 3 as well, and they do it deliberately. I think like this is just their style, but I do think it hinders this series' ability to grow.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of gamers out there, dude. If you don't like the game's not fun, like they don't feel like they're having fun 3-4 hours in, they're just gonna drop the game, and that's not an unreasonable. It's not an unreasonable mentality, in my opinion. Like
I agree.
so it's something to acknowledge here. It's like it's a big criticism. I don't have a problem with it because I love the series, but it's a barrier and a hurdle to get over for sure for a lot of people, and I get it. I get that. So the hate, like I think people are silly with their hate the way they are, but I do understand why people don't love the series the way I do or you do. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
No, yeah, I agree. I think that's why the company itself they get overlooked as far as like top JRPG companies because
Mm-hmm.
it takes so long. You have to really be dedicated to their games to get the full combat experience or even the story out of their games. And I appreciate that they reward the player for like sticking through,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like at some point, man, like y'all gotta like tone it down to like at least give me 10 hours. 10 hours to the game, I got the full game unlocked. You know what I'm saying? Like uh but I don't know how they would like adjust their style for that. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
actually I take that back. I feel like the one game they did that with out the gate to me was Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Right. Right.
That game, like 5 hours into it, I was like doing crazy combos, and I wasn't even, we didn't even unlock the mechs yet in that part of the game.
Well, and
So it was like,
that was that game's version of things taking a while to develop as you get the mech later in the game. But
yeah,
the thing with that game, and I always appreciated this game for that, is that it's not a bad game until you get the mech. Like, it's a fucking amazing game until you get the mech, and then it becomes an even better game once you get the
Yeah,
mech.
exactly.
Like, that's the problem. I think the other games, it's more like the game is not at its full potential yet, up until the point where you unlock all the mechanics, and that is an issue. I think that's something that they need to do better with, I think, going forward,
Yeah.
which I'll talk about later. 3 is much better with this than 2, especially, for sure, but even 1 to a degree as well. So
Yeah. So I was playing Battlefield 2042. It's a good game. It's a decent game. Turning over my little leaf. Trying to do positive spins on the game. So it is a decent game so far. There are some things I don't like personally. Like I said, I wish they could have got rid of the whole operator thing, but they're not going to.
yeah.
So I'm not going to harp on that. But besides that, the patches and everything like that, they did a really good job with. Outer Worlds, I haven't really touched it too much since I played Xenoblade Chronicles, so I don't have anything else to say. But I did play it for like an hour or two within the last week. League of Legends, I do have a lot to say about this game right now. There is a fucking plague going on through this fucking game. It's the same thing, in my opinion, it's the same thing that's kind of Apex Legends is going through, and that is the fucking smurfing. I am a gold player. I am tired of getting challenger people or people who get stuck in grandmasters coming into my games with new accounts, and you can clearly tell, like, they're boosting accounts and then they're paying for these accounts to get boosted, or they're win trading and they're paying these accounts off for other players to buy, and they can play at higher elos, because you can tell if you look at their match history and their sum switch, like their sum and their spell switch spots, and you can just fucking tell. Like I played against today, I played before I got on the podcast, I played a Norms game, and I haven't played the game in like maybe a week. So yeah, it's been about a week. I'm playing Norms, not even ranked, and I get a fucking Smurfer in my normal game, and I'm like, there's no way this dude's beating my ass. First, I didn't have my main character. He had the character I like to play, and then I look on his account, and it's a fucking Smurf account, and I'm like, bro, like it's a fresh account, no other season's been played, and I'm just like, oh my god, bro. It's getting bad to where even streamers are starting to, like, Tyler One has been going on a fucking high rate about it. And I thought he was over exaggerating. I'm like, it's always happening, but like it's every game with him, and he's able to identify like the same 2 players in the same teams, and if they're not on the same team or whatever, then they dodge the games and everything like that. And like, it's everybody's been talking about it. It's been a thing for a while now in the League community, in the League Legends community, but like it's really bad now. Like it's to the point where, like, yeah, people are smurfing in gold, and they're even playing it. They're even showing their smurfing on like on Twitch and everything, and they're not getting punished for it. It's one guy, right? It's a Master Yi player. Who has like over 500 games in gold. Every time he plays Master Yi in jungle, he gets like 20 plus kills. And he purposely puts himself in other positions, like mid, top, or whatever, and plays like complete shit. Like, people have been tracking him and watching, because you can watch other people's games, and like he plays like complete shit on purpose. And he even talked to somebody who added him as a friend, and they screenshot it. He's like, yeah, I do this to like boost I'm boosting this account, but I am, like, you know, a Master E streamer as well. And it's like, bro, what are we going to do about this? Like, this is out for the world to see. Yeah. Even Riot is not controlling it. And then Riot's claiming that they're understaffed right now, but they're making billions of dollars. It's the same thing with Apex. And I haven't played Apex, but I mean, me and you were complaining about Apex.
Bro,
and
we're like dodging, we're like Q swapping so we can avoid all this shit, you know, smurfers, hackers, whatever. We're trying to find which Q at any given time of a season is not full of this shit, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to have a fun fucking experience. So I mean, it's bad, dude. It's bad out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know what, I mean, these are both free to play games, so like I don't know what else you can do to counter it, because they can just make a free account.
Yeah,
you know
what's
saying?
The answer? I don't know what I really don't know what the answer is anymore. It's like, I feel bad for these companies, because I don't know. Like, we complain about it, and it's a problem, but like, what can they do about it?
Realistically
do? Yeah, like, what do you practically do? I mean, some of the matchmaking can get fixed in certain ways, but then you have a Smurf problem. You know, it's like if you have a Smurf, how do you know that Smurf is as good as they actually are? You don't. There's no way to know. Like,
Exactly.
unless you're the I think honestly, this is something I think we've talked about before, but I think in I want to say in China,
It's
your
Korea.
or it's a Korea.
Korea.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's Korea. Your fucking account, your like gaming accounts are tied to your name. Like you can't fucking like make a Smurf account. Like that's not a that's not a fucking thing, you know? Like it's like tied to your social security number and shit. Like so that would be the solution. Ultimately, is that we would have to implement shit like that here, which is probably never going to happen. But like that realistically is the solution. Like you have to tie it to somebody's identity, like legitimate real identity, and you can't Smurf. And if you hack, you get banned. And guess what? It's tied to your fucking identity, so you ain't coming
Yeah.
back, bro. Like see you later. You ain't playing Apex anymore, bitch. Like so that would be that's the answer right there. Like once it's tied to you and you can't make a separate account anymore, you can't just fucking spin up a new email address. Like you have to put your name in, like or something that's unique to you to identify you to the game company. Dude, you're done. You're fucking done. You like the best you're gonna do is you're gonna put your wife's fucking name in for your second Smurf account. Like that's your best case scenario, in that kind of situation. So like that probably is a solution, but I don't know how much people would be into that. I think a lot of people would fucking hate it for many
I
reasons. But
probably would hate it too, like, it's what their system gets hacked and then that person has my information or
right,
something like
or
that.
what if you get what if you get wrongfully banned,
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
can't convince the company that you're in the right, and they just fucking ban you, and you're fucking done, like at that
Yeah.
point, which would totally suck. So there's downsides to it for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the solution. I mean, there has to be some kind of like detection, like League of Legends. When you play ranked, they give you 10 games,
Mhm.
to determine where you place at. But my thing is, some people can just fuck up their 10 games on
You
purpose, like
just
on
lose
purpose.
all 10 of them,
Yeah,
or 9 of
exactly.
the 10. Yeah, like
And then like there was a guy on YouTube. He's like a mid tier Apex streamer. He got a hacker on his team, and then the hacker like he interviewed him, and he was like, "Why do you do this?" And he's like, "To be honest with you, just to make people's day miserable." And like he was honest with it. He's like, I log on and I get enjoyment out of making people mad. Like, and
yeah.
those are people out there like that, and it's
Yeah.
like, and I feel like Smurfing is kind of the same thing. Um, I feel like Smurfing, either people are trying to boost accounts and pay, and like, because you got all these boost account websites, um so you can either boost the account and you can pay it off to somebody. People pay up to like $5,000 for like a grandmaster or a challenger account on League. It's crazy. um all just to lose, like, and then they'll get the account and then they'll drop down to the elo they deserve to be in. But it's like, I don't know the solution for it,
Yeah.
and I don't know the solution for Apex as well. Only thing I can do is point out, like, hey, this is a issue that needs to be solved, because there should be no reason I'm playing. I can deal with the Smurf in my rank games. I can deal with that, but like when I'm just trying to queue up for a norms, a public game, like, just play, have a little fun and shit like that.
Yeah.
I should not be getting fucking decimated by a challenger player in fucking a gold queue for pubs. Like, I shouldn't, man. And I just, I don't know. Like, even when I queue against people that I clearly see are not in my level, I'll ask them like, "Hey, do you want me to help you out a little bit or something like that?" Or I'll even take it easy and like try to even the odds or whatever. But like, yeah, these people don't give a fuck about that, and it's kind of breaking the integrity of like online gaming in general. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's why, in my opinion, like that's why you're starting to see the meta of games shift towards single player, because a lot of people are just tired of this shit. Like,
Yeah. Well, we see no improvement in it. Each game has the same problem, dude. They all have this problem. I mean, the
yeah,
hacking is a problem in every game. There's no way around that. But even the matchmaking stuff, we see it in almost every game, But it I don't know. So I think if we could guarantee some way where people could only have one account with a lot of these games, like that would solve a lot of the problems. But it's just it's a hard thing to. I don't think it would appeal to companies to do it because from their perspective, yeah, it's a free to play game, but the skins aren't free, you know. And if you get
Yep.
banned, and you want to play the game again, well, guess what? You got to get all your skins back, bro. So give us the money, and that there is an appeal to that. I'm sure they make a lot of money off that actually.
Oh
So
yeah, 100%. Yep.
so yeah. All right, is that all you've been playing? I see you have Outer Worlds on there. Are you actually playing this?
Yeah, I said I played it for like an hour, but that's why I put it on there. I have like 20 hours logged into the game. It's an okay game. It's decent. It's no Fallout, and it's unfair for me to compare it to a past game.
Yeah.
But the story, like Bethesda, I'm not Bethesda, but Obsidian's writing is still really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
This game, like I said, takes place in a sci-fi, or what the 50s think the sci-fi would be. Like if you're in the 50s, you would think, oh, what the future would be like, and that's how their version of the future is, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like these big, bulky,
Yeah.
fucking ships and everything. Like they still got the regular fucking green screen computers and everything. So that's what their version of space travel and everything like is like out there. The 50s aesthetic. So I like it, and then the writing is really good. There are funny moments in there. It's not that Marvel tier dialogue and everything. Like it's just a really good game overall. I can tell this is like their first game. They didn't put all into it. But I'm hoping in Outer Worlds 2 they really go all out with it and just add improvements and improve the game.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so I've been playing mostly two games. I'm gonna start with Legends of Runeterra, which I'm still playing this.
I did see you on it too, because I can
Yeah.
see you when you're
Oh,
in my
that's right.
screen.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you get your riot thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm really into this game, man. It's a lot of fun, dude. Like the path of what is it, Path of Champions or whatever the fuck they call their little single player mode. It's really cool though. Like they have these adventures that you can go on, and you have. So how much do you know about Legends of Runeterra? I don't know how much I need to explain.
I haven't played it at all, so
Okay. All right.
you
So
can
it's
go
a
full
card game,
burst.
obviously,
Yeah.
like Magic the Gathering or whatever, Pokemon. And like any other card game, this game has different rarities of cards. You have common, uncommon, then like rare, and then this game has a fourth level, which is champions, which is the champions from League of Legends, literally like what's Misfortune or
Misfortune. Yeah.
Yasuo or Jinx or whoever the fuck,
Yeah.
they are cards in the game, but they're a special type of card called champions, and those cards have the ability to level up, and they will get more powerful like when you level them up in the middle of a game. And basically, you usually want like one or two champions in your deck, like one or two different types of champions in your deck, and you center your deck around the two of them or one or two of them.
Okay.
So
So
everything
it's
your deck
almost like a
does,
commander style.
kind of, yeah, sort of. Not in the sense that like they're always active. They're a card like any other, so you have to draw them and then
Okay.
play them. But once they're on the field, though, you want like synergies in place that will enhance them. Enhance what
Gotcha.
they do. So the cool thing about the single player mode though is there's like 16 champions that you can select from, and you only start with one at first that they let you play with, but there, so you have to unlock the rest of them, which is actually kind of cool. It's like a progression within the mode.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll give you so the first one they give you is Jinx, and she has her own deck. Like they give you like a built like a little 20 card deck basically to start with. And this mode is you do an adventure, and it's basically like almost like how like the Mario map was in like Super Mario World or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. There's like these little nodes you go to, and there's different kind of events that can happen. Well, not events, but like little things. Like there might be a shop at one of them, or you'll get cards randomly, or you'll
Okay.
be able to select like a power that is like an inherent passive power you have throughout the rest of the adventure. And you build a deck basically as you're going through this adventure. So it's like a deck builder on top of, the normal game, and you'll fight matches against enemies, and they'll have their own powers and their own decks and stuff like that. So It's really cool though because you go through the mode and it's different every time because like the maps are the same. Like there's different maps. Obviously, there's like a bunch of different ones you can choose from, like different adventures you can go on, and they have different ranks. There's like a half star, star, 1.5 stars, 2 stars, all the way to 3 stars, at least that I've seen so far. And those vary in difficulty. Obviously, the higher ones are much harder than the lower ones are. But so your deck will be different every time. Like you'll have a base deck, but you'll build the rest of it out throughout the adventure, so it'll be different every run. But the cool part about this is you get rewards for beating the adventure. And there's a first time reward that you get, but then there's also quests that they give you every week. And then there's an account level quests that they give you as well for this mode. So you are constantly getting rewards for playing this mode, which is really, really fun. And but the mode itself is just really cool. I love the deck building aspect of it because it makes it so that it's just fun to play, period. You're playing against the AI, so there's no player interaction at all. So you don't have to play this game against other people if you really don't want to, like at all. Which is kind of cool. There are obviously player versus player modes. I haven't really delved back into those yet because I don't have a card collection that's deep enough to do it. But so that's kind of the thing is like they've given this giant robust single player mode to help you build your collection to the point that you could then go play the PvP modes against other players and build your own decks and stuff like that. And I'm finding it really enjoyable, dude. It's like a really good way to waste, 30 minutes or something, or sometimes some of them are really hard and they've taken me like an hour, but it's surprisingly challenging. It's not just like a mindless, the higher level adventures are not just like a mindless fucking stomp of the AI, you really have to build your deck well, and build a synergistic deck with the character you're playing as. And it's just a really fun way to play this game. So I'm pretty into it. They do have a battle pass in this game too, which is it seems fairly rewarding actually. It's pretty cool. I've gotten probably halfway through the one for this season. I doubt I'm going to make it all the way to the end by the end of it, but I will probably try. But then the other cosmetics that are in the game are really good as well. It's all cosmetic stuff. There's no gameplay really for it. In terms of buying like cards, like I said last week, you can't really do that. You can buy individual wild cards that let you get a card, but I mean that's a really expensive way to build a deck, so it's probably not super worthwhile a lot of the time. So give me a moment. Sorry, cough coming on after talking for so long. So yeah, it's a fun game, dude. I think it's really cool. I love the way they've integrated the League of Legends like champions into the game too. It's like I'd almost recommend you download it on your phone and check it out. Like I don't know if you're into
I
this kind of
forgot
thing.
this. I forgot that was a mobile game as well.
Yeah, it's primarily a mobile game actually.
Okay.
So it plays great on phone as well. I'm playing it on iPhone, dude. Like it plays excellently. No lag really at all. I've had a couple weird bugs. Like I had like a weird crash that happened, but it's like once or twice. It's nothing like major. So I totally recommend you check it out. Actually, I think if you like League, like I think this is a really cool extension of League. And it'll be fun for you to play it with to see the characters in the game and how they're implemented and like what their strategies are. Like Yasuo is one of the characters you can play as in the single player mode, and he is like I've been maining him because he's so fucking good in this mode. Like it's fucking insane, dude. Like I forget how he is in the main game, but his whole thing is he damages enemies whenever they get stunned or recalled. So like a recall means they get like put back into the player's hand that summoned them. But stun is
Okay.
like literally they get stunned and they can't do anything for the rest of the turn or the round. But yeah, so his whole thing is like manipulating the battlefield and stunning enemies and recalling them and strategically avoiding damage and shit like that. But he also has quick attack, so like if he's attacking, that's like first strike and magic where it's like you attack before the enemy gets to hit you back. That's like
Okay.
blocking you. So he has that as well. And he's just really fun. It's like super annoying deck to play against if you were playing against it, but
I mean,
um
he's super annoying to play against in lane, so I
yeah,
can
well,
kind of see the resemblance.
what's the difference, right? But in this mode, though, like you get over time when you play a champion, like you'll level the champion and they get inherent bonuses like to their deck and to them in general and to using them. And I've gotten him to the point that I have him at like 2 star. He's like level 12, I think, or level 13, maybe. And his deck now is like fucking super powerful, dude. Like I'm fucking like blowing up like shit that I could not even touch like a few days ago. Like content that I wasn't like I really couldn't fight a few days ago, and now I did like a 2 star adventure for the first time yesterday, and like fucking obliterated it with a deck. I had like a really fun run with that too, where I got a power like an epic level power, which is like the highest rarity in the mode, and it summoned a Poro every turn, like every round, I summoned a Poro, like a random 1 cost one. But I had other cards that I got along with that for Poro synergy, and I had this fucking basically had like the deck changed totally from Yasuo to being like a fucking swarm deck. It was insane, dude. It was like super overwhelming. Like the AI just could not keep up with the amount of creatures I was putting on the field. It was fucking stupid. But it was like super fun. So yeah, this game is really fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm glad I came back to it actually. Because it's a really nice. You could just, dude. It's like I feel no pressure to play. I'm playing because I want to play. And when I'm done with it, I'm gonna be done with it. But I don't know when that's gonna be. But until I am, I'm digging it. So it's a fun game. Other than that, I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. While I was sick, I did not play very much. I played maybe 5 hours on Saturday, I think, or Sunday. I don't remember. And then I didn't really play again until Tuesday night. But I did actually, I played a lot yesterday. I played a lot Tuesday night. And I'm about 23, 24 hours in maybe at this point, into the game. And dude, so I was complaining last week about how like mechanics weren't being, given out fast enough or whatever. It's like literally the second I started playing the game again, immediately got like the rest of the combat unlocked and like a bunch of like progression systems unlocked like within an hour or two of me starting from where I was last week, which was really funny. So at this point, dude, this game is fucking fun as fuck. The combat in this game is I love one's combat a lot, but I actually kind of am starting to think this game might be the best that they've ever done.
Wow, really? That's a strong order coming from you.
Yes,
I'll wait. I'll wait till next week.
I
I'll wait till
know.
next week.
You're right. You are right, but I'm really, dude, I'm really starting to have fun with it now. The fact that you have 6 party members is such a interesting. It's really interesting because, dude, it opens the game up so much. Like you don't feel like you're missing anything at any time. You know how in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 you can only have 3 people out, so it's like
Yeah.
you always are giving something up with that party composition. With the fact that you can only have 3 people, and that kind of sucks a little bit. That you don't have that problem here. Like you have everybody out, so you can make whatever party comp you want. Like, and it's fucking really, it's really versatile in that way. And I'm finding the kind of class swapping and stuff like that, and the building within the classes like to be a really fun kind of puzzle to figure out how to make your characters really powerful and effective.
Mhm.
And I've gotten to the point that like I started unlocking some of the new classes, like the hero classes that you get in the game later on when you start doing some of the side content. And the first one you get is a dual wielding damage dealer, and I've been using that one with Noah for the last few hours. And dude, when I fucking tell you the damage, the spike in damage when I started using this class, I am not fucking with you. I'm fucking shredding monsters right now. It's like way faster than early. Early in the game, it was just like this, like plodding, slow. Like it would take me 3 minutes to kill anything. Whereas now it's like, dude, I'm killing monsters in 10 seconds. Like it's fucking nuts how effective the party is right now. And I just like 2. It's funny, like when I think about 2, I don't feel like I ever got to that point where 2 where like the party was that effective, and maybe that was just me not getting the game well enough. But it just feels like that game was slower in general. Like just everything about it was slow. And it felt like intentionally so. This game is much faster. It's not as fast as 1, but it's like it's probably 70% of the way from like between 1 and 2. It's like 70% towards 1, you know. So it's close enough. I think it's just, I don't know, it's really cool. The classes they've come up with are really interesting too. They're not just your cookie cutter like D&D classes, you know. They're very unique and interesting, a lot of them, that they've come up with so far. And I don't know, I'm just having a lot of fun with it. The chain attacks in this game are fucking insane though, by the way. I never remember chain attacks being that big of a thing. Like they're good. They've always been good. They're useful, of course, but like in this game, they're fucking nuts. I like against certain bosses, I will use a chain attack 2 or 3 times in a boss fight. That's how often they're coming up. And the other interesting thing with them in this game, I forget if they've done this previously, but if you kill an enemy during a chain attack, like you finish their health bar, all subsequent damage you do for the rest of the chain attack boosts how much experience you get from that enemy. And I have done this many times with some of the side bosses, but I've also done it with some of the story bosses, and I've gotten it to the point where I get like 400% EXP or 500%. And dude, there was one I did the other day that got me like 3 levels on everybody. Like that's how much experience I got. It was fucking nuts, dude. So I'm having a lot of fun like manipulating the game and like really getting deep and figuring out how to be effective in this game. And it's just a really fun gameplay experience. Because that's the other fun part. The nice part about it is the chain attack thing is making it so that I don't have to fight that much. You know, I can kind of just run around. Like I don't really need to fight enemies that often. And enemies drop so many items when you kill them that you really don't need to farm them for anything too much, like in terms of materials and stuff. So it's just kind of it's a nice experience. Like I'm playing at my pace, you know, and it's fitting the game, you know. My
Yeah.
pace is fitting the game. So I'm really enjoying that. The story is still building right now. There's not really any major revelations yet, which is fine. I expected that. I think that's my only complaint, I think, with this game so far, is that the game is a little slow on the story side, to the point that like the major reveal I know is coming in like 20 hours from now or 30 hours from now. And it's like getting to that moment is like kind of a slog sometimes. But there have been some minor reveals recently that have definitely starting to click into place. There was a very obvious Xenoblade Chronicles 2 reference in the last area I got to, and that is, you know, so there's clearly a connection between these 3 worlds in these games, obviously, and I think that was clearly the intent, but it's becoming more pronounced as I play deeper into the game. So I'm really looking forward to playing some more, dude. I'm like, once we're done here, I'm gonna go get some food, and I'm probably gonna play some more. So
I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
yeah, for one, yeah. So Montrell and I are in Xenoblade Chronicles heaven right now. You know, we are just in bliss. I'm kind of jealous that you haven't beaten any of the games, because, dude, you have like you have some really great content left to you in 1 and 2, and
Yeah, man. I'm
yeah,
actually looking super forward to like finishing 1 and then finishing and I was midway through 2, I
yeah.
believe. So I'm looking super forward to it, especially because I heard there's some kind of connection between. I kind of spoiled myself. I was looking for like the optimal build for like a dumb band or a 7th character,
Mm.
and uh the 7th character popped up in the other game, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, kind of spoil that for myself, but I don't know the context of it though.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to all that. I'm also looking forward to playing the DLC for 2 as well.
Oh, that's what I.
Uh,
So that's the thing. When I finish 3, I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go back to 1 and 2 and beat the DLCs for both games, because I've never done
oh
that.
yeah, 1 has DLC too,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I didn't do that for either game. And so I think that's what I'm going to go do when I finish
Yeah.
3.
So yeah, I just can't wait. Personally, and I've just been in a huge like RPG mode lately. I'm actually looking forward to that. I know there's another RPG that me and you are looking forward to that's coming out. or probably already came out. I think it was Xenoblade Chronicles 3 actually that came out already.
I mean, there's
And then
more coming out later in the year. I
there's
mean,
more. Yeah,
you
there's
know,
more coming out. And then
yeah.
I'm actually the one I just sent you. I forgot what it was called.
Diofield
Uh,
Chronicles, yeah.
yeah, Diofield
Diofield.
Chronicles or Diofield, something like that from Square Enix. That game was super fucking interesting.
Yeah.
I've watched all like a 2 hour gameplay footage of it, and I'm like, yo, this shit looks really fucking fun. I actually
Yeah.
like the CRPG
Yeah.
live combat aspect
Well,
to it.
dude, this is okay. We're gonna talk about this later when we talk about Forspoken. But like, I was texting you about this because you sent me this. You sent me this gameplay from IGN, and I'm like, dude, this game looks like actually looks really good. What the like?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Square, like, come on, like, bro, like, how is it that you guys can't make your games look good? Like, I like,
This is a company wide. This is not just Square, bro. I
yeah,
think this is a game industry thing.
industry,
They
yeah.
don't know how to make their games look good at all.
No,
But
no,
continue.
they're focused on hype and like, dude, like, show me the game, give me the goods, man. Show me the gameplay. What am I gonna play? Okay, don't try to trick me into thinking this game looks awesome. Like, it's not gonna work, dude. Like that's what's so frustrating about Square though. Their like incompetence with it is like fucking like almost legendary at this point because
Bro,
they
you
made this Diofield Chronicles game look like a fucking mobile game, and it looks so much more than that now that I've seen like a deeper gameplay dive.
well, I didn't even get that impression from it. The impression I got from it was which I'm a victim of this. I like flashy shit, but I also like to see the combat evolve, or like what's my early game combat going to be like before I get to the flashy
Right,
shit or whatever.
right.
And I think Square Enix has itself in a loophole because you have fans like me and you, where like I'll say like fans like you who really don't really mind the flashiness. Like you it's cool if it's there for you, right? It
Yeah,
is, but you like I'm
right.
like in the deep shit of it. I want to know the numbers game. I want to
Yeah,
know, like
right.
I want to get really deep into it.
Yes.
And then there's people like me who are like, I want the flashy shit. But then I feel like I'm a little bit in the middle because I'm like, I want deep shit too. I just don't want all flash, no substance to it. The problem I think Square Enix has right now is a lot of their fans are all flash and no
Well,
substance.
they
They
did
just
that
want
they fucking did that to
exactly,
themselves, bro. Like, yeah,
exactly.
in the PS3 era, they were all flash, no substance, and they are now becoming a lot more substantive, where their games lately, like, I'm fucking like super impressed with Square. Like, dude, they're trying to make like really deep, complicated RPGs again, and
Yeah,
like they're I think you said this on Twitter or something, like they're like back to their Squaresoft days almost, you know, like
yeah.
they're not fucking around anymore. And I think that's the thing. I think Square's marketing team either has the same leadership they used to have, or maybe it's just they don't get it because they're like afraid to show people how deep the game is. It's like they think people are going to be scared off.
Well, the hype train around fucking Tactics Older, I wasn't even expecting that. There are people like who are like 21, 22 who are like, yo, I can't wait to play. I heard about this game. I never got my hands on it because I was either too young to get it or
Yeah,
whatever. Like there are people on Reddit, there are people on like YouTube comments,
yeah.
like there are young as fuck who are like, can't wait to play
Oh,
these
that
games.
melts my heart. Oh my god.
Um,
Oh.
and then even the mech game they just came out with on the Switch, I forgot what it was called. Fuck.
Wait, Front Mission? Wait, no,
Front Mission.
wait. Did you say it
Yeah.
just came? What is it out?
I thought
No,
it came out. I thought it
no,
came out
no,
already.
no, no, no. Don't do this to me in the middle of the show, dude.
I
I'll
thought it
find out.
came out.
No, I'll
Okay.
find out. Keep going.
But yeah, the remake, people are like super excited for that game.
Mhm.
And if you look at the combat, you're like, well, this is like a grid based, RPG or
It is
whatever.
not.
But
It is not out. It is not
it's
out.
not
It's
out
still
yet. Okay.
slated for summer of 2022. But
Okay.
bro, Front Mission. Yeah, Front Mission is in the same echelon as Tactics Ogre in terms of like OG fucking tactics games. Like, dude, oh my fucking god! Like, Front Mission is incredible, bro. Like, it's so good.
And I think even the hype around that Digimon game that just came out, this is like a tactical game as well.
Yeah.
RPG
Oh yeah.
almost kind of.
Hmm.
Like the hype around that game when that game came out, I wasn't really too impressed with it, to be honest with you. I didn't really like the visuals of it. I like tactics game, but like for some reason that one looked really kind of cheap to me.
Hmm.
But a lot of people actually fucking love it. It's an actual visual. It's a visual novel as well as a RPG game. So I think a lot of people will like that from a perspective. If you play like the Fate Grand Order games or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're at this point where people just want more substance and want more bang for their buck, especially the JRPG fans. I feel like the kind of like Kingdom Hearts era of games have kind of died out because everybody tried to emulate that style. To me, and the only people I actually perfected it was like Kingdom Hearts themselves. No one ever came close to like trying to emulate that style of combat. Even Tales games have gotten a lot more nuanced in their not as much, but you know, they've gotten a little bit. I think Arise was like it was kind of simple, but it was also like if you wanted to get deep with it, you can as far as damage output and how you use your combos and everything of that nature.
Yeah.
So I'm actually glad to see that RPGs are going back towards this because I always wanted like with better graphics. Because I look at old games and I'm like, man, if you can just get like a graphics update, bro,
Yeah.
you'd be so fucking good. And like now they're doing it. So I think this era might be the new like that new PS2 golden age of games like that we had back in the day.
We're beyond that, dude. I'm sorry. Like, no offense to the PS2 era, but it wasn't that good.
Well, I feel like we're either there or we're gonna be.
I'm gonna
there.
call the PS1 late Super NES PS1 era. That was the real golden age of JRPGs.
JRPGs.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I was late to a JRPG train, so I played a lot of them on my PS2.
Yeah, a lot of the best games, honestly, of all time, still that I feel like are still like some of the best games of all time. They're from that 16-bit, early 3D era of RPGs.
Because they were just trying new shit. Like it was just weird how the amount of shit they were trying.
Well, there wasn't a formula, dude. Like everybody was doing it differently back then. You know, like everyone had their style, right? Like Sega had their own style of RPGs, Nintendo had their own style of RPGs, Sony had their own style of RPGs, Square, like all these companies had their own styles. And you were getting very different games, and people were not copying from each other because the shit was happening so fast you couldn't do it. Like these games were coming out with 12-month dev cycles. Like it was fucking nuts. So I think it just but now it's like there was a point I think in the early PS2 era where a JRPG became a certain thing. And this is why I say that era is not as good as people remember it is because I think JRPGs became really formulaic in the PS2 era, and that carried into the PS3 era and even the PS4 era. And there are good JRPGs in that period of time for sure.
True.
But I just don't think the genre as a whole was good. Like at that point in time, like that is the low point. We are way out of that now. And I think we're like. You're right. We're in a new golden age.
Yeah, because I think the issue was too, right? Everyone wanted to put up Call of Duty or Halo numbers, so a lot of JRPGs were struggling, and they were like, "How can we make ours more appealing to the West or more, whatever the case may be?" So they were trying new things, but the only thing that was really sticking was the Square Enix / SquareSoft way of doing shit. And then you had your offshoots like maybe Tales or maybe I don't even know another one that kind of survived that period. To be honest with you, Dragon Quest.
Yeah, Dragon Quest.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, even that though had a really long sleeping period. That
it did.
Series.
Yeah.
Because 10 between 8 and what was the latest one? 11. There was the MMO, and then there was 9, which was a DS game, and that was it. And that there was a fucking like 15-year gap between those two games. So
yeah.
Even that style wasn't like Square wasn't chasing that, they didn't think Dragon Quest could sell at that period of time. And I think they were wrong, but maybe they were right at that period of time, but now they're learning they're kind of accepting, I think too, that they're not Activision. They're not going to sell like Call of Duty. Like you have a niche, like build that niche and you will be the market leader in that niche, and that's exactly what you should be doing as a game company. It's not, you shouldn't be chasing the quick buck with the fucking Call of Duty clone or whatever, the World of Warcraft clone. Like the industry, I think, went through that period, and we still have that copycat shit happening, but it's so, I feel so much less prevalent lately. And I gotta give Square credit, as much as we were shitting on them at the beginning of this talk. Dude, like Diofield Chronicles, dude, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is that game? Like, where did that come from? You know,
And
they're making
they
a
didn't even show it.
CRPG. Like, what the?
They didn't even show it in their showcases. Like it literally came out of nowhere,
Yeah,
bro. Like
yeah,
nowhere. And I feel like it's more. It was more. It looked very good. It looked better than Harvestella that they're coming out. I think it's called Harvestella
yeah.
that they're coming out with. That looks really good too, by the way. I'm not saying that it looks bad, but I thought that was more interesting than Harvestella, and I'm like, holy shit, this looks fucking good as fuck.
Yeah.
And the only reason I saw it was because it was an ad on my Twitter page.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks nice. Let me send this to Justin. I think he'll like this. And that's why I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it's just interesting. Well, even Harvestella, right? Like Square is really experimenting right now. And like dude, they're doing it with like everything, right? Like Triangle Strategy is like a more traditional Tactics Ogre style, I guess, strategy RPG, but like I was saying when I was talking about that game, it's a very unique strategy game actually. It's not really copying anything like verbatim, you know. So it's like they're in an interesting design space for me that like they're kind of hitting all the buttons right now, you know, because you got Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's like a really fucking unique RPG too. Like they kind of made their own action combat with that game that is very different from anything else they've ever made. Like it's not like Kingdom Hearts, like and it's not like shit from, you know, like Devil May Cry or anything like that either. You know, it's like they're making their own thing, and it's like this is the thing is this is how we're going to get innovation now. It's not like new genres popping up. I mean, that's still going to happen probably every once in a while, but like it's going to be these little things you see within a game that are unique to it, you know. And that's where we're going to get those kind of differences in design. So, I mean, Battlefield Chronicles looks fun. It looks like a cool game. I wish Square would have marketed it better because they made it look like a mobile game, and it's really annoying because it's not even close to that. Like it looks like a legitimate full ass game, you know. There's like a whole section too. I think when you're running around, like you run around the castle like three houses, you know, style, like in third person and shit, and like talk to people and stuff. Like it's you know, like it's got its own stuff like that too. So
you know what was funny? I think they're trying to like. I think Nintendo and Square Enix are maybe having a silent battle of JRPGs because like both of them are hitting out the park with JRPGs.
Yeah, but
right now.
You say that, but they're not really battling with each other because Square has like all these RPGs they're making for Nintendo exclusively.
That's true.
Like this Front Mission remake is a Switch exclusive, so you know they seem to have a good relationship. I think they just taking ideas from each other is what they're doing, and they're both thriving honestly right now. I think in the JRPG space, so I'm just happy, man. I'm happy we're here, dude. Like I don't know, like.
So there's one JRPG that a lot of people kind of skip over, and it only had one game. And I kind of understand why it kind of came out in the late era of the PS3 360 game, and that's Radiance of Fate. I want a remake of that so
Resonance
much.
of Fate?
Resonance. How you say it?
Resonance of Fate. Yeah, which came from Tri-Ace, right?
Yes.
So they didn't remake it. They did re-release it though a couple years ago.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, on PS4. You can play it on PS4, dude.
My God.
I want to play. Okay, that game. So my brother was a fucking psycho at a certain point in our lives with gaming, and he would like platinum every game he played. Dude, he platinumed Resonance of Fate, which is like apparently a fucking insane platinum to get, like really hard. But he platinumed that game, and I remember watching him play it for like 2 months straight in our house back when I still lived with my parents. And I always wanted to play that game, and I just never had the time to do it. So yeah, I want to play that game. I want to play that game too because it looks really unique as a JRPG.
Yeah, it kind of mixes real time with like with turn-based combat, but like you use guns and it's like you jump in the air and do flashy shit. It's just so fucking crazy, bro.
So stupid looking, but well, the other one I want to mention, also from Square, also only had one entry, also was in the mid to late PS3 360 era. Fucking Last Remnant. That game.
Oh, they re-released that game, and
they re-released that too. They came out around the same time, actually, both of those re-releases. Okay. But yeah, Last Remnant was a fucking like super unique RPG, and it's so sad that they never revisited that series because, in my opinion, I actually think it could do really well if they made another one. But you know, so there's some good shit out there, man. Square's made some great games over the years. for sure. But I don't know. Diofield Chronicles, when like is that coming out like imminently?
Yeah, I think I want to say next month actually.
Next month?
Yeah,
Okay.
next month. Yeah, I think it's coming out next month.
Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna have time
I
to play
I,
it, but
I did see September-ish. So let me check real quick. Yeah, September 22nd.
okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Well, that looks pretty cool, but um okay. We've gotten really sidetracked, Montrell, so
I
we're all
mean,
over the place.
it's a one story episode, so
No,
I
I
was
know.
expecting this to
We're
get
we're all
sidetracked.
we're I know, but we're like all over the place on the doc. I usually follow the doc like top to bottom, and we have jumped all over the place. So I never did the rigmarole, which I'm not even gonna do. You guys know what it is. We post 6 a.m. Fridays Central Time. We're on the podcast places, send us questions. So Montreal, I did want to talk to you about this though, because we thought this was coming out at the end of the month, but it's already out.
Oh, it is.
Sunbreak's
Okay.
title update came out yesterday. And they added 4 monsters: Lucent Nargacuga, Seething Basil Goose, Gold Rathian, and Silver Rathalos. And then I
The
believe
staples.
yes, and I believe they added a bunch of anomaly. They added a new feature called Anomaly Investigations, which I don't know much about yet. And they also added a new quirk to crafting where you can get random little upgrades for your gear potentially when you
Okay.
craft them. I don't know much more than that, like how much deeper it goes than that. It may just be as simple as that, but yeah. So that's what we got. How do you feel? Does that make you want to go back and play, or do you want to wait for the next title update next month?
I right now at my point in my gaming life, I'm probably gonna wait till the next title update. I just don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, I mean they're gonna add probably 4 more monsters, 4 more subspecies or whatever. I think that's their thing now. Now that I know what the blueprint is, like yeah, they're gonna add 4 subspecies and then maybe some more afflicted monsters.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not a big fan of afflicted monsters, but a lot of people actually like the afflicted monsters, which is fucking weird to me. But
Yeah. Yeah.
more power to you guys. Um, yeah, so but I think hopefully they add more weapons so that
They did.
like they did okay.
Yeah, all these
Because that
monsters have their own weapon trees.
okay. My whole thing is like I don't want to use the afflicted as I hope they have the later on down the life cycle they have their own specific weapons for afflicted monsters. If that makes any sense. Like I know you need them right now to get like the final tier of the weapon, but I don't know. Maybe they just have like an extra tier for like afflicted shit. Like I don't know. It just does afflicted damage to the monster you're fighting or whatever. I mean, that would be fucking cool. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm satisfied with what I got out of Rise. To be honest with you, I mean, I know I bitched about it a lot, but it's like it is what it is. I'm not expecting any kind of world tier shit, and I don't think they were expecting world tier shit out of this game. I have to take into account that this is a Switch game, so it's meant to be mobile and more light on stuff. And I think the next entry of World or Paradise,
yeah.
I think that's going to be the one me and you are like, oh, this is a beefy one. Like, this is it right here,
Yeah. Well, we're going on 4.5 years since World came out now. So, I mean, yeah, I kind of think that game is going to be pretty big. But, yeah, for me, this title update just proves that the game wasn't finished again.
yeah.
Because Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos not being in the base version of Sunbreak is like that's it's criminal, bro. Like it's criminal. I told you, I said this. Every G rank they've ever done, those monsters have been there. Okay, and here they
Staples.
are. Here they
They're
fucking
staples.
are. Like,
Yeah.
like. So
I didn't think they were going to release them. I didn't think they were going to do it.
No, I knew they were. I fucking knew they were. They weren't talking about. They're trying to be coy. Like, oh, what other monsters are we really? Come on, bro. We know. We fucking know. We fucking know, dude. Like, don't fuck with me. So.
Well, what about the other ones though? I think the other ones are the Pink Rathian and the Azure Rathalos are staples too.
Oh,
I feel like
true,
those are like,
and they're not in the game actually at all.
Yeah.
That's true. That is fair. They just skipped over those, dude. But those are usually high rank staples, though, which I find interesting.
Really? I thought those were like this.
No, that's where they usually what they do is they start introducing subspecies in high rank, and there's certain ones like the Pink Rathian, Azure Rathalos are usually in that mix, and then you'll have some other ones that like Black Diablos maybe will be in there, and some other ones, but it's usually only a few, but they usually are subspecies in high rank, and they didn't do that with this game at all, which I find interesting. So, but yeah, you're right; those two are not in the game, which is fascinating. But I guess it doesn't matter as much. They're not like important monsters, like Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos.
Yeah,
Those needed to be there. you know,
those are important monsters. They have to be
um,
there.
their armor sets, by the way, are fucking sick. Like the skills on them.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'm with you right now. I'm in the same boat. I don't have time to play right now, really, but I do want to play some more. I want to go back, and kind of finish things off. But I'm kind of like sitting there, like, you know what, dude? Maybe I just wait for a few title updates, and then like in December or January when it's slow, like
Yeah,
have
I was thinking
another
the same
month.
thing.
Yeah, have another month of being obsessed with Monster Hunter for a while again, and I'll have plenty of content to get through. Again. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
think from now on, that's what I'm going to do with Monster Hunter. Even when like the newer one comes out, I might buy Paradise when it comes out. Like, even though there might not, even though we know there's not going to be a G rank when it comes out, um, I might buy it still, but I might wait, or I might just be like, hey, I'm gonna play it. If they have enough low rank and high rank monsters, I will like go crazy on it and then just put it away
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
come back for the G rank version.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I guess I have to evolve with the game instead of being like trying to hold the game back. Like, it is what it is or whatever. So.
Hmm. All right. Fair enough. Montreal. All right. Let's move into the news. Oh wait, there's nothing listed. There probably was some news that we missed. I don't know. You guys may see it next week, but we have a topic. So Forspoken had a new trailer a couple days ago, and it was really bad. Cringe is definitely the word here. Um,
Yes.
but I want to discuss this not only in the context of Forspoken in this trailer, but like we were talking about Square earlier. It's like this is another example of them marketing their games really poorly, and they just don't get it. They make the like I feel like they hurt their own sales with the way they market their games.
Yeah, they have a real issue with Western games, and I think that's maybe that's maybe why they're picking up the JRPG train really hard now. And I think they recognize, like, yeah, we don't know how to market our JRPG or our Western games really well, because I feel like they had the same issue with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
The opposite though, not the dialogue or anything like that, but just the way the game fucking looked. It looked terrible during
Well,
the E3
their way of
conference.
marketing the game was to do a 45-minute gameplay demo, which like in a lot of contexts, I would clap for, right? But that that is a game where the gameplay isn't really that good. So that's not how you sell it. Like you sell it off the story. Like that's the point of the game that's everybody agrees is like fucking top-notch shit. The gameplay is
Yeah.
kind of boring and not that interesting at all. It's like one note. So it's like they do the wrong thing for every game. It's like,
Well, like for spoken instance, you guys gotta go. If you guys can, if you're listening, just look at like the Forspoken trailer on their Twitter. It's the latest one they posted so far, day of recording. Um, and it's just like, I don't think this is Square Enix's fault. I think, in my opinion, this is the fault of like Marvel and Disney. And they're like presence in media. This dialogue is like so marvelish that I'm like, is this Iron Man talking or is this fucking the main character talking? Like,
yeah.
bro, like what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like hyper quippy, yeah.
yeah, it's hyper quippy and it's like, so let me get this straight. I'm in a world that's not necessarily Earth, but there's talking dragons or whatever the fuck. I'm fighting
I'm
freaking
moving shit with
dragons.
my mind.
Yeah, I'm fighting freaking dragons, man. And we're not exaggerating. This is literally how she's talking.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like that early 2000s millennial, how they think millennials used to talk in the early 2000s. Like, have you ever watched like iCarly or Zach and Cody or some
Yeah,
shit like
yeah.
that? Like that's how I feel like when I'm like watching this trailer. And like people actually make fun of it because that's how crazy and cringy it is.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, this is not the first game to do shit like that. It's just really apparent. But like a lot of games have been doing that quippy shit. I will go back to it all the time. But first, before I do that, let me mention the positives of the game. I like Mass Effect Andromeda's combat. It was really fucking good. It was very fluid and everything of that nature. But God, was the dialogue awful. Like I'm sorry, it was very Marvel quippy-ish, and that's what I didn't like about the game. The writing was really too good. The voice acting was really good, but the writing just wasn't good. And I think this is probably going to have the same kind of like echelon, whereas like you know that quippiness needs to go away. And yes, Square Enix. I don't think it's Square Enix's fault this time. I just think the writers, someone above the writers, were like, "Hey, we need to tap into that Marvel audience, man. You know what to do." And they're like, "Bro, but we have like really good dialogue, actually." And they're like, "Nah, give me that Marvel shit, bro. Give me that. Star Wars shit. That
Yeah.
new age Star Wars shit,
Yeah.
quippy shit. Give me that
Well,
shit,
you know
man."
what's interesting about this is a Japanese made game too, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, this is made by the Luminous team. This is the
I
team
thought
that
that.
made Final Fantasy 15.
I thought this was a Western team that just had
No,
the Luminous engine.
no. I'm pretty sure. Um, I'm pretty sure it's the Luminous team. Yeah, Luminous Productions. Directors Takeshi Aramaki and Takafumi Terada.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, this is the Final Fantasy 15 team, dude. So that's what I find interesting about this is like I almost want to buy like play this game and play it in Japanese,
Yeah.
um, and see what the like would it be more tolerable in Japanese because the English dialogue is like to me very annoying. But the sad part about all this is like when you actually like just turn off the sound for a second, like don't listen to the trailer and just watch it.
Oh, the gameplay
The
is fucking
game the
amazing.
game looks kind of awesome. I'm like, fuck, dude, like this kind of sucks. Like this game is gonna get torpedoed because of this, but it's not really like gonna deserve it. I feel like it's I don't know because like dude the movement and the animations and shit are fucking crazy, dude. Like
Yeah, no, the game actually plays really fucking well. Like what they're showing, like you're a spellcaster. And yeah, the combat just looks fucking crazy. Like it's been a while since we had like a spellcaster game that you can do combos and stuff with and everything of that nature. And that's what I'm looking forward to, like just doing crazy shit with it. But yeah, like I don't know, man. I don't know. They have to do something about this. They have to do something about their marketing in general. Like Square Enix has a real bad marketing problem to the West. I don't know if they should like consult people to the West or like I don't know. It's because it's like very generic marketing. I just always point out to like Mankind about its marketing. Like it was fucking
oh my
atrocious.
god, yeah, no, and they,
Um,
they they have a history of this, dude. It's not a new thing with Square. That's kind of my point with them is like they need to fire their marketing, their CMO, like like come on, man, like this is you're doing a disservice to these games because like there's some good video games here that are getting killed by their marketing. And Forspoken feels like another one of those, sadly. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's coming out in January. It has a chance to hit there for sure. I
I
think it.
think it's I think it's still going to hit. I think it's still people are still going to like it. I'm still going to buy it just simple like because I like the spellcasting aspect of it. I don't think this. A lot of people are saying this is killing their uh like the sales. I think it actually brought more exposure to it, to be honest with you, because people can look at
Yeah,
the gameplay. Yeah, the quippy shit is like there, right?
yeah,
Like, we can look at that shit and the quippy shit. The gameplay though is really good, and I think people are going to look more into it and be like, all right, I can tolerate this fucking like it's like a bad it's like anime, right? Like you can
yeah.
tolerate certain shit in anime, like voice acting and everything like that, whether it's Japanese or English, and you're like, but the anime itself is really fucking good, bro. Like you gotta
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, it may be some like fan art here or not fan art, but fan service here and there. But bro, the bulk of the anime is fucking good.
Well, I think too. I think that's the tack I'm going to take with this. Is I don't care how bad the English, voiceover is for this game. They're pretty sure, like 99% positive, there's going to be a Japanese version of the voice track. So at that's like a fallback option for this game for sure, no matter what. So and that will probably be tolerable in the way that an anime is, for me. to your point. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I don't know if I'm actually going to play this game, but it does look really good. Honestly, like I'm very surprised by it, and I'm hopeful because the Luminous Productions team, like they like, as much as we always bag on Final Fantasy 15, that is a very like well made game in terms of the way it looks and runs and plays. We don't like the design choices that they made for that game, but
I love that game, Justin. What are you talking about? It's one of my favorite games ever, bro. I
but
love everything about that game.
for sure. So but that's the thing. It's like design for like, in terms of a studio making a game, they made a very like well made game, so yeah, we'll see. All right, Montrell, that's all we got. Like I
All right.
said, we had no news. So is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we go?
Nope, that's it
All right, good. I'm fucking starving, and I need to get some food. All right, everybody. If you like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you are listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thundernut01, and the show is at the Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. All right, that's it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this one. Bye.